this is somebody I really looked up to. She said, they're not gonna take you seriously. Okay, I need to change who I am in order to be successful in life. Hey, I'm Danielle, and tell me if you've experienced this before. You get advice either through a mentor, someone you respect, someone who's very accomplished in their career, or even watching a video with someone you really look up to, and they give this advice, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't really sit well with you, and you think, is this what I need to do to be successful? And you really question it, and you really wonder, and you're like, I'm not so sure about this. I know this has happened to me, I'm sure multiple times, but there's a specific memory that pops into my mind that happened almost 10 years ago, and I hadn't thought about it in a really long time. I was talking to a friend a few weeks ago, and this story kind of popped up out of nowhere, and I haven't been able to get it off my mind since then. I was sitting in the office of one of my college professors, and this is somebody I really looked up to, how giving she was, her energy. I just really respected her for who she was. And as I was talking through the details of a project with her, as part of this project, I was gonna have to approach different professionals. And she came at me with this advice that I really didn't expect. She said, you know, if you approach them with this bubbly, enthusiastic energy, they're not gonna take you seriously. She went on to explain that in my career, if I were to talk to different professionals with that same bubbly, enthusiastic energy, I wasn't gonna be taken seriously. And even in that moment, I felt really weird about that advice. I feel like I can communicate pretty well, and I use my hands a lot when I talk, and I have a lot of energy, but like, it's all really genuine. And so I'm sitting there receiving this advice and just sitting there silently, like, not knowing what to say and really not knowing how to feel about it. And I left that conversation not necessarily saying screw her, or even saying, okay, I need to change who I am in order to be successful in life. It was just sort of this general confusion. And as you might be able to tell, I did not change my ways that day. I did not take that advice to heart. I continued to be the bubbly, enthusiastic, positive person that I am. So here we are. And the funny thing is, that energy and that enthusiasm is exactly what I've gotten the most praise for in all of my jobs and endeavors since then. How interesting is that? I really believe when you bring your true personality to what you're doing, that's what helps you stand out. That's what helps you thrive, because it's like this magnetic thing when people sense that someone is just being their real, genuine, true self. And let me give you a couple examples of this, because I really want to paint this picture. When I left my most recent job, as I was leaving, the CEO said, you have been one of my top 10 favorite people to work with. He is, further along in his career. He's worked with so many different people, and that really meant so much to me. And he just really appreciated this optimism and positivity and energy that I brought to the work, which is this exact, compilation of qualities that we're talking about, where that's not something you see in like a stuffy business environment. You have to act really formal, and I'm just like imagining like a pantsuit for some reason, and that's just not me. And I'm sure there's plenty of people like wearing pantsuits right now and rocking it, but like, I wasn't overly formal, and I did just bring this like raw enthusiasm, and that's what he actually liked. And I appreciate that so much, and that means so much to me. And it also really means that that's true for anybody and their genuine personality, because when you're bringing those qualities and not necessarily being what you're like supposed to be in your mind, that is so much better. There have also been multiple times where I've been selected for opportunities and I was not the most qualified person in the room, but I know that I brought this enthusiasm and I came forward as just like the most true version of myself. And when you do that, people trust you and they pick you out and say, you seem like a great fit for this. And so recently I got picked out of a training to do this summer workshop that I was really excited about. And I was kind of shocked to find out that I was the person that was selected out of that group, because again, not the most qualified, but I was so excited with this opportunity and I really showed up to each of the training sessions just with my full self and spoke up and was just really there and really genuine. And I really believe that that was part of the reason why I stood out in that situation. Again, when you are your true self, when you bring your full personality to what you're doing, people trust you. And I understand that if someone's like overly bubbly, they might like come off naive or something in an environment where that doesn't fit in. But like for me, when I'm showing up with that energy, it's true to me. You know, it's not like a compensation sort of thing. It's like I'm really showing up as my true, enthusiastic, bubbly, positive self, and that gets noticed as genuine and trustworthy, and that's just me. If that's who I am, I'm gonna show up that way whether people like it or not. And you know, I'm not like fake bubbly, like over the top. I'm just being me, you know? And I'm just coming with the enthusiasm that I keep talking about, and that feels most true for me. And so I'm gonna keep doing that no matter how people react to it. And as I think back to that situation with the professor, I kind of have an idea of why she said that. She actually was a pretty enthusiastic person, and that came through in her teaching and what she did in her life outside of the classroom. And I kind of feel like the reason she gave this advice to me is because someone told her that at some point. Either that, or she was showing up as her enthusiastic self and kind of bumped into the wrong person who gave her a certain look or reacted to her in a certain way and just wasn't taking her seriously because of that. And in my opinion, if that's the case, that's not the type of person that us enthusiastic, bubbly, energetic people should be working with. If that rubs people the wrong way, you know what? You're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. At the end of the day, I hate that this advice, wherever it came from, translated probably from some interaction with someone who either wasn't being their true self or just wasn't that type of enthusiastic person or just didn't appreciate that as a quality. And that doesn't mean don't be yourself. It doesn't mean don't be these specific qualities because it's not right for the business world. Again, I don't know where this came from in her experience, but I have a hunch that it was someone that wasn't on the same page as her and was sort of dampening who she really was as a person. And as that advice made it to me, that didn't feel like a fit. And as I think about all the books that I've read and the podcasts I've listened to and the ways that I've been able to peek into successful people's lives, I'm realizing something really big. And that's that there's no one version of what success looks like. And this is honestly a huge relief. When we look at any list of habits that make people successful or qualities that make people successful, I mean, there are probably some common themes, but it's not like there aren't examples of the opposite. For example, if you think that, okay, there are all of these successful people who are super organized, and I'm kind of messy sometimes. Maybe you're more of that raw creative type, but there are examples of people who are disorganized and very successful at what they're doing. And so if there's an example of the opposite, then you can be successful if you are or aren't that quality. So let me tell you, this is the truth. You can be an introvert or an extrovert. You can swear like a sailor or never say one of those 4-letter words in public. You could wear pantsuits or be in your pajamas, maybe depending on the context. You could be loud, you could be quiet, you could be fast, you can be slow and steady. Honestly, there's no end to what this could look like. However you are genuinely at your core, like just be that. And don't let any comments or examples out there make you think that, oh, because I'm this way, I can't be successful. Seek out examples of the opposite and prove that wrong. So in summary, if you hear any advice and it just doesn't sit well with you, it doesn't feel right in your gut, you don't feel this resonance when you hear it, don't listen to it. I'm actually interested to hear if you've heard any career advice that just like didn't sit well with you. What was it and why wasn't it a fit for you? And we will leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like these kind of story time style videos, definitely hit the thumbs up and I can make more. And of course, subscribe. I have so many good videos coming up. I cannot make them or edit them fast enough for my brain. So stay tuned for that. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye. As Barney would say, just be yourself. Did we talk about everything? I think we talked about everything. You know, I don't, it'll be a lot less exhausting if you're just being your genuine person.